Hello, everyone.
Hi, friends. You're listening to Undressing.
Undressing. It's me, Felicia Day.
And I'm Tom Lank.
And we are very excited to be here. This is going to be a shorty episode, though. For many reasons, I'm in San Diego at Comic-Con. I drove down shortly before this, got to my hotel room, which is not downtown, and I'm very relieved about it. I'm pretty excited about it.
What part of town are you in?
I don't know. Northern San Diego. I don't know. It was kind of a last minute panel for Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox, and I don't know. This is where they got the hotel, and I was kind of like, where are we going? And this is a very cool hotel. I guess I could say where it is because this will air after I'm gone. It's the Lafayette Hotel, and it has 3 bars, 2 restaurants, a pool, a bowling alley.
Where is this?
And
like Oceanside or something?
no, it's like North San Diego. I have no idea. There's all these restaurants. There's like West African restaurants outside. It looks really cool. And I'm just about 15 minutes from downtown. So I'm like, the room, I will show it. It's very, look at it's fancy.
Oh, it was colorful.
Yeah. It's very boudoir. It's very like speakeasy boudoir-y, very hipstery.
I like that.
I think you'd like this place.
We both love like a boutique style, non-corporate looking hotel.
Yes, this place is anything but. It's got tall wallpaper and it's got jungle wallpaper, both.
Oh, a jungle and toile combo?
Together, and it's kind of working in that I wouldn't want to live here, but I'm kind of amused. There's like golden snakes on the bed, on the end of the bed. I'm into it.
I love it.
But yeah, so I'm going to go downtown and do my shopping tonight because I have to work all day tomorrow and then I go home Friday. So it's very fast. But at the end, also, I just watched the episode and it's so forgettable. I hate to be mean because I do love this show so much, but this is a little bit of a stinker of an episode. I was so confused about so many things happening, and I'm like, Penn, just get it together, girl. You're getting married. Come on, have an update. And I know it's because it's episode 7. It's supposed to be the lowest point, but I'm just tired of seeing her gaze at Colin longingly. I'm just like, God damn it, girl. That's my opinion. I'm so sorry. I love the show. I love the actors. I love everything about it. This one, maybe it's because I just drove 3 hours. I was like, what are you giving me today?
Anger. The show's giving you anger issues. Talk for a moment because I've got a thirst that needs to be quenched. Hold on.
Oh, like a physical thirst? Okay, yeah. I mean, listen. As usual, the costumes are incredible. It just felt like a transition episode. And that's weird because it's did you hear what I said? I basically said it feels like a transition episode, but yet we have the wedding in this episode. It's very strange. The wedding felt like less exciting than a ball.
I don't understand why Colin was so upset. I'm so upset. And then all of a sudden, he's just not.
He's not.
He's just like, okay, it's fine. And also, like, I thought for sure, like, we wouldn't go through the wet. It's just like
he irritated me so much.
And his character is so different in this episode than in any other episode. He's just like moody and depressed.
Yep. He's drinking. He's not with prostitutes, which in reality he would have been. Let's be honest.
Oh, I thought for sure he I thought for sure on like their wedding night, he was going to go sleep with a prostitute.
He's going to go sow some oats somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, let's get through it because
okay.
And there's I was doing my notes. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm not taking notes because I'm just like, it just feels like we're getting through some scenes. So anyway,
I don't have very many notes either.
We open on Colin being pissed at Penn because he finds her dropping off Whistledown. And it's very, very dramatic. And he's never going to forgive her until the end of the episode when he seems to forgive her. It's fine.
All I wrote was, God damn it, men are stupid.
Thank you. Then we have the funnest part of the episode, which is fake Whistledown as Cressida reading her voiceover and sending that out. And that was super fun. I loved it. I wanted her to be like rival Whistledown for like a year, but we only get it for one scene.
One
Then we
scene,
have
the dress is
yes,
insane, as
as
usual.
usual. And anyway, so in her Whistledown, they swipe at the Bridgertons. They imply that not only are they lustful, but maybe the children are not legitimate. And it's like, whoa, nasty.
I love this shot of Lady Danbury reading and smoking by the window. So
Yeah,
just like cool. But
like cat in a
wait,
hot tin roof kind of thing.
here's what I want to know. How come Julie Andrews does Penelope's voice as Lady Whistledown, but why does Cressida do her own? Shouldn't there
That's a
be a
good point.
different celebrity lady
It
doing?
should
I
have
don't know.
been it should have been Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just an American accent all of a sudden?
I just read.
I was so not into this episode that I was just like noticing random things in all of these shots, which was
Good,
they're
bring it
like
up.
their gloves were made of like tiny fish net. And
Oh, did
like,
not notice it.
was that being made by hand back then?
For
Because
sure. Yeah,
sometimes, do you ever
everything.
accidentally watch a lace making video on Instagram or
No.
TikTok?
No. No, but
It's
chainmail.
just
I've
like
seen a lot of chainmail.
it's just like over, under, just like the whatever these like holders are at the end of the threads, and they're just like 1,000 of them, and they're doing it
Wow.
by hand. So how was anything made by hand back then? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's all made by hand, and that's why it was more valuable. It wasn't like fast fashion. They had no fast fashion. Fast fashion was burlap, just like you wrap it around yourself. That was fast.
Yeah, but like
Anyway,
probably a pair of gloves was equal to $100 now, and someone had made.
exactly. But because so many people had to labor over it, it was actual labor.
Yeah,
Just wait for 10 years. We'll be replaced by AI. It'll be the same for us. Anyway, so then we
yeah,
get a voiceover of Penn/Julie Andrews as real Whistledown, and the Queen brings Cressida in front of them, and she's like, "Busted." Danbury's happy, and there's this all just a montage of people like eating it up. All these couples, all these people eating all the gossip up, eating all the why are there two Whistledowns? Like it's great. And then we got cut to Cressida. Her dad is like, "You stay in this room until Aunt Julia or whatever the hell her name is comes and gets you. You got to stay here." Uh-oh. Now, I will say that the mom writes very well because Cressida no way put those words together.
yeah. It was passable.
Yeah. And then over at Penn's house, she reburies all the Whistledown stuff. But the central conflict in this episode for her is like, do I let go of this
I mean,
Whistledown or
she
not?
already
Which is
burned
weird.
everything.
I know.
Also, I love that she puts stuff in a hollow book under the floorboards, as if someone stumbles upon your stuff under the floorboards, you don't think that
Yeah.
they're going to open the hollow book and immediately take that?
I don't know what
It's
she's
also
saying.
it's not very well hidden. It, like if you lift up the corner of the carpet, there it
Yeah.
is.
There it is. It's real Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
Then we figure out that they're going to have the wedding reception in this big room and everyone's really excited. Oh no. Before that we all are arriving somewhere. We don't even get the context. It's outside, everyone's walking. Benedict and Eloise arrive. Penn and Eloise have this powwow. Eloise thanks her and says, "Hey, Colin's really mad at me because he found out about Whistledown." And Eloise is like, "Peace out, girl. I'm out. Sorry." And I'm like, "Didn't she
Yeah.
do that for you, Eloise? You're a terrible friend." It made me hate Eloise. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I understand she's trying to have personal boundaries, but I don't know if now's the time for that.
It's not, especially since Eloise has been nothing but a brat all season. And then we have the other main thrust of the episode is Danbury and Violet Bridgerton, Mama Bridgerton, and they're like calling each other Agatha and Violet. We're friends. We don't really care about the fact that you could do something for me. And I like that. But the whole episode is about Danbury kind of burying the hatchet with her brother so that the brother can get inside Mama, you know? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. I did, yeah. I did love that we got to hear her actual name, Agatha. I keep forgetting that's what her name is. What's
Yeah.
Bridgerton's name? What's her first name?
Violet.
Violet. Oh, you're
Violet.
that. You just said it.
Yeah, Violet.
Violet. Oh, I never even thought about everything in the house is violet and blue. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
It don't just let's not think about it too much.
Also, is this Bridgerton house a set? Because we see like the multiple stories and them
I
coming
think
down
it's
the
gotta be a
stairs.
set. I think all the interiors are sets.
But it's so built out. How could it be a set? And if it's not a set, I want to go there.
I bet it's a set, and we should get our way on that somehow. We should pull some stringies.
Oh, let's do
Back at the
that.
Bridgerton house, Colin confronts Eloise and is like, "You knew?" And she's like, "Yeah, I knew. It broke my heart. I didn't want your heart broken too." And Colin's like, "I'm never gonna forgive you." So he's like going around, "You, I'm never gonna forgive you, or you, or you." He's such a little brat. I hate him in this
Everyone's
episode.
so
I'm so
sensitive.
sorry.
And we're weirdly filming soft focus through the railing of the stairs or the stair rail, I guess. I don't like it's not soft focus. It's just like it's a weird shot because the stuff that's in front of what we're of the people is in soft focus and you're
I
sort of
don't get
looking
it.
past. Did you notice that? It was very
I
weird.
noticed there was some very strange direction in this episode.
Yeah, it got very artsy all of
Yeah,
a
and
sudden.
I think they were like, this script is not strong, so we just have to art it up."
Add some
Also,
flair.
at this point, with him being such a little baby, I was literally thinking this is the kind of guy that once Penelope has a baby and she can't pay attention and coddle him as much, he's gonna go cheat on her immediately. This is what who Colin is.
Oh, yeah, he's a baby man. He's a baby adult.
And he
I
needs a
just
mama wife, and when the mama wife finally has to mother a baby, he's gonna be like, "I need to go find someone else because you're not paying attention to me."
I just had lunch with a lady friend, not just, but earlier today, and she had her 2 kids with her, very like very young, and she was just talking about how common thread between her and most of her gal pals was that all their husbands, like something happened as soon as they got married. The example she gave was like, babe, where's the ketchup? And it's literally in front.
Oh, no, yeah,
Like
no, no,
she
no,
said that
no,
they just start even like
no.
what happens to men? Do they just become incapable? I've noticed it on
No,
vacation with my
they
partner because he plans everything. And so I start getting used to being baby adult, like
yeah,
how it is when we're on set and they're sort of like, put my
taking care of
pants on for me,
everything, yeah, yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
just
no,
being
it's
led
bad.
around and I don't have to think. Does something happen to male brains?
Yes, I think they go back to where their mama is when they have a woman,
Oh,
and they're like, "This is
oh.
my woman," and their job is to do crap for and f to do the mental labor for me. So
And if
it's
their
just
mom coddled them, they expect the same
yeah,
coddling
this is
from
I don't know, this is my theory, but I'm salty today because Colin and then in the next scene, Colin and Penn are with the moms scouting out the reception area, and then he implies that, "Oh, I will not I have to marry you because we were intimate. Perhaps that was your entrapment." And he's just I was like, "Did you not remember whose fingers were under whose dress? Who's the virgin here? Huh?" I was so angry at him in that scene. I really hate him in this episode. I hate
yeah,
his guts.
yeah, full entrapment. He's
How dare you, sir?
he's president of Finger Blast Enterprises, entrapment speciality.
Anyway, the moms are like, "Something's up." But the mother, Featherington, has the best dress on with just peacock feathers all over her. I was just like, this is the best dress I've ever seen.
Yes.
Anyway, the most interesting storyline this episode is with Benedict. And he
It's
goes,
wild.
it's wild and I love it. It's the biggest payoff. I'm like, this is what Bridgerton be because at the end, okay, so I'll just walk you through it.
Yeah,
The
finally.
Bridgerton.
After
Finally,
3 seasons,
ugh,
or what is this, 4? I don't know.
I don't
I they've been taunting us with bisexuality, and it finally paid off.
It finally paid off. So the first scene is Benedict kind of thinking about a letter from Tilly, and she's like, my staff are very discreet. We just want to have a three-way, basically. And she says it in a very artsy way. She's
And
like,
Mr. Suarez
yes,
also likes to be intimate with men.
uh-huh.
Oh,
And I was
I
like,
mean,
what?
I clutched my pearls. She also did pronounce she said Grosvenor Square, which I'm
That's not
always
right.
no, that's right. I'm always
it?
confused. It looks like it's gonna be Grosvenor. Grosvenor is the way it
Oh, you have to
looks,
be a
the way it's
native to
spelled.
know that.
But like, I'm always like, how do you pronounce that? So I was really grateful that she just pronounced it for us. Grosvenor.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So he literally is left with like, well, she made a good argument about the whole you should love who you love. And she's very good in this scene. And I was like, oh, is it going to happen? And then we're going to get
Also,
to
whatever her name
when
is, Serena,
yeah.
as I like to call her, again, hair helmet. It is, those bangs are so stiff and crispy. It's
No.
just,
It can't be. There's some bad wigs. Like that one was not great, but Penn's wedding wig, why was it 7 feet behind her actual hairline? That was the worst. It was so far back on her head. I don't understand it.
there was some strange wig police detective agency got a few calls on this episode,
Yeah,
and
this one.
we were
And it's
perplexed and we were out of office, so we really couldn't do anything about it. So I apologize. But like, what's going on?
I don't know. This episode, it's just like somebody wasn't watching the Bard. Anyway, so this wig sucked, but I am interested in the proposition of a three-way. I'm very invested.
Yes.
We go back to the Bridgerton house, and Lord Anderson just calls by, and he calls on Violet, Mother Featherington. And do they just always have cake and tea ready for anyone who just stops by? Is this just an open door tea policy in this
I mean,
time?
if that's the case, if I got crazy money, I think I would hire a housekeeper, a daily
Yes,
maybe a live-in housekeeper
a live-in.
to
No, a live-in
just
chef. Live-in chef, 100%.
have tea and cake ready for me
It
at
was
all
right
times.
there. He walks in, surprises her, and yet there's just tea and cake. And I'm like, this is the life. I wish I lived then.
I need
Not
on-demand tea and cake.
yeah. Anyway, we go back to Cressida, and Mom's like, I can't help you anymore, girl. And Cressida's upset about Eloise and is like, I wish we hadn't turned on her. And Mama's like, you know what I taught you, baby? It's every person for themselves, especially amongst women. And this is a very toxic thing. But Cressida's like, okay, Mom, because she's going to become evil incarnate, which we see at the very end of this episode, but not quite yet. And I just, she's very plainly dressed because there's nothing in her hair. And I'm almost like, is that her skull line? It made me a little disappointed to see it. Anyway, so basically we come to the night before the wedding. It's not Mondrich's club, but we see 4 guys there. We see Benedict, we see Colin, we see Mondrich and Kilmartin, and they're talking about Kilmartin needing to do a big gesture to win the mom over. He's drunk. Colin's super drunk. Benedict's really drunk, and later he's looking at a card from Tilly like, hey, let's think about this a little bit. And at the same time, Penn goes to the modistes, and for some reason, completely unaccompanied by a chaperone.
Yeah, the rules are gone. We don't care about chaperones anymore.
The
but
empty
also,
streets
why
of
does
London?
Why do the men get a bachelor party, but her hen do is just her stopping by the modiste for a sassy
It
drink?
made no sense. It made no sense whatsoever.
And-
Also, first of
and it
all,
was
she wouldn't be let
depressing.
out. And they're not of the same social class. They wouldn't have been hanging out. I just so confusing to me. That scene in particular, they just needed to get Penn out of the house so Colin and her could meet on the street and make out against a building, kind of passionately, and then he sends her home.
Why? Okay.
Pissy.
Okay. So they meet. So he's drunk with his friends. He wanders out. She has a drink or two with the modiste. It was nice to see. I did miss the modiste. And
I do
was
like her as a
"Oh,
character.
I really like
but
this actress. And I love partner Steve was like, are those wigs? And I was like, are those wigs? Everyone's in a wig.
Everyone's in a wig. No one has that much hair, sir.
Yeah. But he's much like a straight man in that he just does not notice that kind of
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
So maybe like normal people don't notice what the wig detective agency notices. But they run into each other and then they fight and then he's like, I'm horny, let's make out.
So he just
forgave. They had two 2 sentences and she's like, I love you. Horny make out. Was that
And
the
then
first time she said I love you to him or
no,
what?
I don't know. I was focused on him basically being pissy that, and here I was thinking I was a writer and you're a published Mayfair experienced
Oh,
and I hated him.
he
Oh,
went
God.
fragile man on her. So
Ugh.
fragile.
If a girl was doing that, it'd be so whiny. So I'm sorry, it's whiny, Colin. It's whiny. And she's like, "Come on, baby. It's okay. Come to mama."
I mean, is that what they
Ugh.
wanted our reaction to be, was to be mad at him?
I think so. They want us to hate him, so we'll love him next episode, which we will. But I hate him this episode. Then he goes home and he's thrusts her. He's like, "See you tomorrow. I'm gonna marry you."
So like, just like kind of grind up on her. I think he put his hand up in there.
Oh yeah, he
Just
does
up against
everything.
a storefront window, but
Oh
then he like kind of shoves her into her carriage and it's like,
yes.
go home? Like what?
And then he goes home and randomly, who's there? Anthony and Kate, which the weirdest storyline of the year is in this episode for these two. They show up and she's like half pregnant and they're like, "Let's give you marriage advice. You're drunk." And then I don't even understand. I was so like tuned out.
the advice was just like,
Yes.
marriage is worth it. It's hard, but it's worth it.
That was
Exit.
it.
Exit
I didn't even
stage
oh,
right.
God. It was
Out
the
of
worst.
I will say the lighting, whatever the lighting is in that like den or library there, that's how I want to be surrounded every night.
Kate always looks
Candlelit,
beautiful. She's gorgeous.
candlelit eye level with like I want to have a shimmer. I want shimmer on my skin. And I
Yeah,
want to
it's
be
good stuff.
glowing. But that was dumb advice.
It was so dumb. And
Also,
I didn't even
another
register it.
terrible vest on Colin's part.
Oh, God.
Why are they obsessed with these like angled stripes? I don't
I
understand.
don't know. It's not complimentary. He's a handsome guy. Stop it. All right. Then the next morning, we get some perfection. We get Danbury and Olive
in a gold
head to toe.
dress, a
Gold
gold
olive.
dress against the
Yeah.
mauve walls. Perfection.
She's always the bar. And she has, but then again,
The bar is so low.
She's
Walks
like, in on her.
I'm mad about you about something you did when you were 10.
40 years ago. And he like explains it away. And she's like, well, okay.
Okay, I forgive you. So we've been waiting how many 6, 7 episodes for why she's mad at him.
Well, we learned last episode, yes. And then she forgives him like that.
But so both her and Colin instantly forgive the person they're mad at. So I don't know.
But also, she was like, "You're a rake." So she implied that he was a guy who thinks with his pee-pee, and yet she's mad at him from when he was 10. So we never have heard about why she thinks he sleeps around. I don't understand. The disconnect is very strange here.
When she explained, and what was it? It was because he told his father that she was trying to sneak away
from a horrible marriage. Yes.
On the night she was supposed to go marry Mr.
The night before, basically, yeah.
And so when they told us that last episode, I was like, well, yeah, well, that sucks. But they forgot to tell us that he was a 10-year-old kid. And
yes,
because like you're not allowed to be mad at someone for something like that.
Yeah, but then also 10. He was like, I did it not to impress dad, but to impress you, to prove myself to you. And I was like, because you were a week late. I don't understand. He had a speech and I was like, God bless how good this actor is, because I don't understand the words coming out of his mouth. It was weird. Very weird. Anyway, we're all getting ready for the wedding, which is good. And the best scene, other than the Cressida thing, is the queen interviewing people at the palace, surrounded by what looks to be some kind of performance art of 4 ladies all in white holding Pomeranians. And it's the best thing I've ever seen. I love this. And it instantly was like, I love the show more than anything. All right.
Yes, I did go from angry to deeply satisfied by the queen.
Satisfied by her wig, by her attitude, her acting, the fun, the cleverness of the dialogue of these losers trying to,
give information. These are the parts that we would get assigned. Woman with broken leg and old man stuttering and about to die on screen.
But then for something he says, or I'm not even sure, the queen takes the 2 whistle downs, holds them together, and comes up with something. And she's like, aha.
The thing he says was, aha, I figured it out. It has to be a man. Why? Because it, a non-de plume,
Yeah.
and it has to be a man. And that makes her think.
It makes no sense. I was confused. I had to watch it twice. I was like, I'm so confused. What clue does he give her?
Why did that lead her to believe, and we'll see in the scene that when she arrives, that she thinks it's one of the Bridgertons. Why does that make her think
I don't know.
Bridgertons?
Again, I watched it twice. I was like, I'm missing something here. So if the audience could tell us, thank you. But I was captivated by her outfit and the women around her and the fun of the scene. But then we go to the most boring wedding I've ever seen. We have the wedding. Colin enters kind of surly. Penn is like getting married unhappily. Is she ever happy at all?
It's depressing. Is the queen going to interrupt the wedding is what I'm wondering. What do you think of the wedding dress?
It's so boring.
It was compared to everything she's been wearing this season was so boring.
Ugh.
It was pink though. What do you think about the color?
That's okay because I've read that at the time white was not a wedding color. So pink makes sense. It's fine. I don't like that color on her, but I just thought it was so incredibly. It was like they forgot to put anything on the dress and just sent her out there. Like, the dress isn't finished. Just go. We got to shoot. And her wig but I don't even care. I was so distracted by the fact that the wig, you could see the wig line, the lace, you could almost see it in several scenes, and it just pushes her forehead back about a 1/4 inch that it doesn't need to be. It wasn't a good hairline for her.
The way they're setting the bangs are sort of like curved back. They're going back and then up and then out.
Yes,
sort of in
I hated
like
it.
the way we used to do our bangs in the like late 80s, early 90s, but sort of
it's
in
like
a
Grease
1940. It was very Grease too. So I think it just like they just placed it a little too far back in this shot, and the style itself is going even further back. So it's, I don't know.
I was unhappy with everything.
And
here.
What do you think
and
about
also
Coldplay on string quartet?
No, we've done it before. Been there, done that. It should have been like Nelly or something. I don't know, something a little more.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot. I'm going to take my clothes.
That would have made me wake up. Also, their vows were so boring. I didn't even remember hearing them. I was like, is it over?
Say I do. It was like,
I,
Colin Bridgerton, take you, Featherington, to be my wife. And then she says something weird like, and I shall be yours in body and it was something very like,
it was something very
strange. It was like, and I'll be your sex lady is what it sounded like to me.
It was not satisfying.
And I'm sorry, the wedding was about 15 seconds long.
It's true.
It was like, we are gathered here today. Do you, and scene. And also that man that was their minister might as well have been the minister in Spaceballs. Like, he looks so creepy and weird. It took me out of it.
Everything was taking me out. It was really her hairline. I could not. I was like, she is so much prettier than this. How dare you?
A Featherington sister, her hair was made into like hair branches, which was so strange.
Yeah, I did. And she was nice to Penn in the reception, which was a surprise, but not satisfying at all. And basically, then the reception is so boring as well. It's all about Penn gazing at Colin.
It's a wedding breakfast? A wedding breakfast.
Yeah. All right. Whatever.
What is that? Have we ever seen this before? Is this brunch?
Pancake wedding sounds nice to me. All right. I like to go to bed early. I would not want to be at a reception past like 8 p.m. So sign me up. But it's just, there are all these little scenes of like people cutting, like Eloise and Benedict, be her friend, and Danbury and Violet. And then randomly we hear an update on Kate's sister, and Anthony's like, let's move to India and have your baby there. Did she?
It was like, hi, we'd like to kill you off the show, but we'll just have you say this instead. We don't want to spend money on you to come back, so we're gonna give you this we're gonna give you this written by AI expositional line to explain your exit from the show.
I swear to God, it's probably. Here's what I think.
And
Anthony's agents called and they were like, dude, you're not using him. He has other work. You've got to get him off the show. And because they had no setup here at all for any of this. And, I think episode 7, they're like, we got to get them off the show. We're just going to stick a line in and just explain why we don't see them for years. I don't know, man. It's so weird.
Also, what a waste of that care of her sister. That character could have come back.
Yeah.
And been friends with, been on the market with Eloise.
Yep.
Like, I guess she sort of got screwed over
Paired
by
up a little
who was
bit,
she?
but
Who was she dating?
she was dating wasn't she paired
Anthony.
up with she was paired up with Anthony, but then she got paired up with the prince, right? I thought they were together,
but they
why are
just
they in
dropped.
India?
One of the lines was like, "Oh, my sister's so happy and in love being married." It was like,
I'm sorry, I'm just getting really catty. I just feel like the show is better than this. I don't know. They just felt like they were like, oh no, we only have one more episode. We got to wrap it up. And then it's just like, isn't that a dangerous place to have your baby? And then she's like, what about your mother? They're going to be at Bridgerton wherever they're born. Screw her. Like, let's get out of here, babe.
Well, she tries to talk sense into him. Like, it'll take several months to get there.
Yeah. I don't think you should be traveling at that point in time with a baby on a ship.
Is this Oregon Trail times? Because does that line up with Regency? I don't know what the math is.
That would be the Oregon Trail of equivalent.
Don't you have to fjord a river? Don't you either die of malaria or on a boat or in a on a wagon? It's not an easy trip.
No, it's not just a casual trip. It's like, don't you have to go around Africa to get there?
Oh yeah, it's boat travel. So
what are they doing?
I just watched all of the new Vikings Valhalla season. And what is it that you want in cut? I'm obsessed with the way they talk in the show. And I was thinking about that, the king just I'll see you back in England, and then they get on a boat, and isn't there a 1 in 2 chance that you'll not survive that boat trip? Isn't it that it was pretty dangerous, right?
We take a lot for granted. Yes, it's crazy.
When does
I'm just like Anthony? I'm not kidding. I'm seriously diagnosing Anthony with a mood disorder because he is so manic. During the season, he's like, I'm having a baby. Let's go to India. I would not be surprised if next season Anthony had a manic episode and spent all the money of the Bridgertons and everybody's on the street. You know what I'm saying? This is disturbing.
Just kill him off now. It's time.
Exactly. Anyway, so then there's a dance, and somehow Penn finally going over to Colin and asking him to dance heals all wounds.
And he's like,
they're
we
in
can't
love
dance
again
at breakfast. How dare us? What will people think? And she's like, I'm tired of being a wallflower. And I'm like, that's why you were both being moody this whole scene? They're both looking at each other surly and stinky.
Yes,
I'm mad at you, even though we just got married.
It's so weird. I know. I'm telling you. And then the queen enters and kicks everybody but the Bridgertons out. Not that that'll be the talk of the town. And she's like, you reveal your secret. And Francesca comes forward and says, okay, it's me. I'm engaged to Cole Martin. She's like, get out of here, dummy. It's one of you's Whistletown. And if you're kidding, and then she marches out. She's like, you're on notice. You better admit it tomorrow. Because right now is not the time. Why?
She also stop playing. I don't know why that was why would she even bother with? They would just stop playing the quartet playing Taylor Swift. Doesn't it, whenever they play pop music on this show, it really makes me aware of how overly simplistic modern day
Pop music
melodies
is.
are.
Yeah, it
'Cause
is.
it
It's
was
very
like
bad.
dun 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 dun. That's a melody.
That's it.
But of
That's
the
it.
time, it would have been da 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 da
Yes.
da 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 da. Like it would have been intricate and interesting. Like we just
No, it'd be
really,
yeah.
we just
It's
don't
we're
have
simple
that.
people now. We're simple, but we survive. We're simple, but not
We are
diseased.
simple and we live over 40. Okay.
Yeah. So then and to end the episode, Colin takes Penn aside, is like, "You gotta give the column up." And she's like, suddenly, "I can't give it up." I'm like, "Wait, weren't you kind of prevaricating the whole episode? Now you're digging in once the queen is here?" And he's like, "Ugh." And Eloise comes in and 180 hugs Penn. And I'm like, people are very, very, very moody and changeable in this episode. I don't know. What do you
I just wanted it to be like, just end your column and start writing books. Like
uh,
now your
exactly.
husband can fund anything you want to do now. And like, or like, I mean, obviously he wants to write a book. Like, does
Uh,
does she like she's done the pen name clearly before. She could be doing what historically happened. Well, there was women authors back then, right?
I mean,
Isn't
they were
she in
yeah, like Jane Austen,
she was reading a Jane Austen book, wasn't she? At
I
one
think
point?
Eloise was, yeah. Eloise at a certain point early this season, she was really reading Jane Austen.
Wasn't she like, I'm reading a new thing called Emma or something? I don't
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
But like she could be doing that because now she has the money to do that. She could also be writing, like if she really wanted to like be write under a men's
Nom de plume. She
pseudonym,
could
nom
pretend
de
to be a
plume.
man.
She could do
Exactly.
that.
I don't
She has a lot of things accessible to her, but I
yeah.
know this is her and this is how she defines herself, and we shouldn't want her
She's a
to.
gossip girl. Well, anyway, I will say and then we finally get to the scene that redeems all scenes in this episode where Benedict on fire kisses Tilly and then goes in for Paul. It's the hottest scene since
Three-way
season 1.
action.
Oh, why couldn't we just
He's
cut
gonna
to
forget about that lady so fast.
oh my god, he is because that guy's really hot. Can I just tell you, this reminded me of the hot scenes in season 1. Finally, I was into it. And I wanted
Yeah.
them to go and give us 20 minutes where we saw this happen, and they give us nothing but a kiss.
Well, don't
Very upset.
worry. I cheated and I watched the next episode and
Do we get some? Do we get some more?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Basically,
oh,
that's all you anytime you see him from now on, it's in a three-way.
oh my god, I'm so excited.
It was a little shock. I was
I was
shocked. I was
shocked.
like, I can't believe they gave us what we wanted. And I can't
I
believe
know.
in such a, you know,
And
on this on a show obviously like normally this type of relationship is not historically going to be uh focused on in any on a major television show, so it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for,
fresh. It's
it's
fresh.
fresh, it's happening, it felt to me, it felt like watching something gay on TV in the 90s because like we've kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
gone, it's sort of like
Well, here's the thing, if you remember season 1, it had a lot of sex and nudity. And season 2 had a little but less, and this one felt very, like, juvenile as far as the sexual content. I mean, yeah, we had that long we had the 2 scenes where in the carriage and on the chaise lounge, but there wasn't the heat there. I'm sorry, the sexual chemistry is not as much with Colin and Penn. I love them together, but it's not, like, as hot. And then finally we get, like, this is
adult
adult stuff.
adult scenes.
It's because
I think
Colin's a baby man.
well, also, I think because I feel like I read something or talked to somebody, I'm theorizing, that they the network, Netflix itself was like, "Oh, hey, can you calm down on the sex scenes a little bit?" Because now the core audience of this is what, 13? There's like
Oh, is
it's
that true?
teens. It probably is, like, there's a
Oh,
lot of teens obviously watching the
yeah,
show because the characters, um, you
that's too
know,
bad.
are in their 20s or whatever. So that there's a lot of kids watching the show. Season 1 was for us, it was like an adult steamy romance novel come to life. And then they kind of eased off on it season 2. And then it felt like right now in this moment
this was it. We're back. We're back, baby.
We're back.
And then we end the episode with Cressida trying to search for Whistledown and finally getting a clue that Whistledown is a redhead, and she gets a bunch of goss. So basically, Cressida is going to be out for Penn next episode, and that is very interesting. So anyway, that's where we leave it. That's where we leave it. And I have to say, talking about this episode has been more fun than anything. I loved it. I loved ripping it apart. I love it. I cannot wait for next episode. I love the actors. I love the show. This episode had so many things that I had to point it out, and yet we still go on and love the show.
I think we only got so riled up because we're so deeply passionate about the show.
It's true.
And it's so much fun to watch. And again, like, I guess anytime where we're kind of like, I guess we should remind ourselves, you're watching a romance novel. Like, what do you want?
It's true. It's true. And I know that next episode I will not hate. Remember I loved Colin last episode?
Oh, yeah.
I was in love with him.
Yeah.
Yep. And now next episode,
it's
I'll
just
love him
he
again.
was so grumpy and mopey this episode.
It was, I just couldn't with him. And all the things he brought up were just pissing me off.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, we'll get to next episode next week, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Have fun at the Comic-Con.
Thank you.
And well, you said you're going to go shopping. Like, are you going to go down to all the
I'm going to go to
merch?
Well, I'm going to go get my badge and then go get my daughter some stuff on the floor, and it's going to be amazing. Yay!
Nice. It's always fun to fill up your suitcase with toys.
Yay!
Have
all
fun.
Right. Thank you, viewers and
thanks
listeners.
Everybody for listening.
And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.